the takeover, it must have lifted everyone at Newcastle. Something had to happen at Newcastle, didn't it? They weren't happy with the previous owner. They've got a lot of money, wherever that money's come from. They're just happy, they just want success on the field.
Well, they've had so many false dawns, so many false promises as Newcastle fans. They've been promised this takeover, this investment, and it's never come to fruition. And actually, you look at Newcastle from the outside looking in, you think it's a proper football club. The supporters there are incredible. It was always one of my favourite away grounds to play at. And the lack of success that club's had over the years, it doesn't go with the stadium, with the supporters. And now, whether you talk about the investment, where it's come from, that's a different subject. But the level of investment that they've got is phenomenal. The first thing they've got to do this year is stay up, though.
Yeah.
You look at what Manchester City did when their investment came in. Did they get the right manager? Did they sign the right players? I think one of the first players that Manchester City signed was Robinho back in the day. And you have to get the right blend.
Yeah.
They've got the nucleus of a decent squad. I think if you look at the squad that they've got there now, maybe 2 or 3 would stay when they
Has been
develop.
Starting 11 regulars.
You look at,
2 or 3 will stay, won't they, as part of the squad?
For me, Dubravka, he's a top goalkeeper. St Maximin stays. Callum Wilson, when he's fit, would fit into a squad. Almiron. But then if you look at the level of Manchester City, you look at those Newcastle players, how many of those Newcastle players would get into the starting 11 at Manchester City? Newcastle have got 10 times, 15 times more money than Manchester City have got. So eventually in time, that squad's going to develop and it's going to evolve.
Are we looking at 2 or 3 years though? Stay up this year, invest next year, and then maybe the year after they can go for some sort of European play?
It's not going to be instant. The money has to be used wisely. And I think it's very easy. I mean, we can all sit there and play fantasy football.
Yeah.
You and I can sit here and say, right, we'll sign those 7 players, best players in the world. But do they play well together? Will that work as a team? Defensively, will they be able to cope with not conceding goals and allowing the attacking players to go? The biggest thing for me, for Newcastle, it's quite obvious. Steve Bruce, I mean, he's in a job at the moment. I'd love to see him get his 1000th game. I'm a big admirer of him, what he's done in the game, and I think he's taken a lot of criticism there.
And he deserves that, doesn't he?
For him to have that last game, if it is to be his last game, that'd be brilliant for him. The important thing for Newcastle is the next appointment, where you go for the next manager. I think they have to have a manager that grows with the team. If the team loses 5 or 6 games in a row, you can't have the manager looking over his shoulder thinking, I'm going to be sacked because they've got all this money, they're going to bring in the next manager. It has to be work in progress, from the manager to the playing staff to the academy. There's got to be a smooth transition timeline.
Who should they be looking at, Paul? Who should they be looking at?
In my opinion, it's got to be somebody like Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard.
It's like the young upcoming manager who's been in the game and knows the game.
They've shown their credentials, Steven especially at Rangers. Bring Steven Gerrard in with somebody with a lot of experience alongside of him. Let him develop with the club, let him grow with the club. Like I just said then, if they lose 2 or 3 games, the manager doesn't need to be looking over his shoulder. He needs to know that there's a long-term plan, a long-term project. We're going to get these players in January, we're going to get these players in the summer. I'm still going to be in a job in 24 months' time, and this is where we're going and how we're going to develop. And I think that's the best way forward for Newcastle.